This is the story of Rosie, my gentle, loving dog who came into my life when I least expected it and who has turned out to be the greatest gift I've ever received. When Rosie first came into our lives, it was clear that she had been through more than any dog ever should. We believed she had been used for breeding, and when she was no longer useful, someone simply discarded her like she didn't matter. She was found wandering alone, abandoned by a kind couple who lived nearby. They brought her to our shelter, hoping we could help. The moment I saw her, my heart broke. She had clearly just had puppies. Her body showed all the signs. She was filthy, underweight, and covered in infections. You could tell she hadn't known kindness in a very long time. I decided to foster her, thinking I could at least give her a safe place to rest and recover for a while.
What are you doing there? You sure have babies.
Those first few days were tough. She was unsure, cautious, and didn't quite know what to make of us. But slowly, she began to let her guard down. She met my 3 kids and my husband, and it didn't take long for her to start snuggling up to each of them. You could tell that all she really wanted was love, the kind of love she had been denied for so long. Whenever she wanted my attention, she'd quietly come sit next to me, waiting patiently. We used to joke that we'd finally found her off switch because whenever we placed a hand gently on her head, she would stop moving, close her eyes, and just melt into the touch. At first, I told myself she was just a foster, but very soon I realized that she was meant to stay with us. There was no question in my mind she belonged here. That's when we decided to rename her Rosie. She reminded us of a sweet old church lady, gentle, slow, and full of quiet dignity.
Oh my goodness.
Rosie isn't exactly athletic. In fact, she really only has one speed slow. She loves walks, but she moves at her own steady pace and insists on going whichever direction she chooses. You can't rush her. She'll simply stop and look at you like, nice try.
What's the matter?
She's loved everyone she's ever met. People, animals, you name it. She's met cats, pigs, and even a duck. And she's been kind and patient with them all. That's just who she is. Rosie reminds me that sometimes your soulmate is waiting for you in a shelter. You just have to open your heart to the ones who might not look perfect. The ones who are older, slower, or a little rough around the edges often have the most love to give. Over time, Rosie became more than just a pet. She became my helper. We fostered quite a few animals since she came into our lives, many of them medical or hospice cases, or dogs who simply needed a break from the shelter. Rosie has welcomed them all. She seems to understand when another animal needs comfort, and she's always the first to offer it. She follows me everywhere if she's hungry, wants to go out, or just wants some affection. She'll quietly trail behind me until I notice her. She's my shadow. Rosie came into my life not long after I'd lost my previous dog. My heart was broken, and I didn't think I was ready to love another. But Rosie changed that. I think we found each other right when we both needed healing the most. I needed someone to fill the empty space in my heart, and she needed someone to remind her it was safe to trust again. Now, we're inseparable.
What's the problem? You don't know?
Every day, I tell her how much I love her. I tell her she can't go anywhere, that she has to stay with me forever. I take her everywhere I can, and she's become somewhat of a local celebrity among my friends. She has a few aunties who always bring her a puppuccino whenever we meet up, and she absolutely adores them.
He's so happy.
Sometimes people see her from a distance and walk the other way. Maybe it's because of her stocky build or her unusual face. They don't realize what a gentle, loving soul she really is. I always tell them she's a cross between a hippo and a rhino, short, sturdy, and absolutely adorable in her own unique way. Her tongue is always hanging out, no matter what time of day it is. Sometimes she even wakes up from sleep with her tongue still tucked under her chin, and it never fails to make me laugh. She amazes me every single day. Her joy, her resilience, her quiet way of loving, it's contagious. We often say that Rosie's mission in life is simple, to make people smile and to spread love wherever she goes. And she does exactly that every single day, just by being herself. There's a magic about her, a warmth that softens hearts, and I feel endlessly grateful that she chose us, or maybe that we chose each other to share the rest of our lives together. If you're thinking about bringing a dog, cat, or any animal into your home, remember that love often comes in unexpected forms. Some of the most remarkable companions are those who have faced hardship, who may not be the youngest, prettiest, or most popular at the shelter. Open your heart, take the time to get to know their personality, and give them a chance. You might just find, like I did with Rosie, that they have a way of filling your life with joy, healing, and an endless capacity for love. Adopt with patience, love, and commitment. It will change both your life and theirs forever.